Okay, we are now joined by the Baylor Bears, Coach Nikki Collin and player Alyssa Smith. Coach, you want to make an opening statement or you want the questions? It's your call.
I'll start with an opening statement. I think we've played incredibly well for the last 2 months, and I think we didn't play well tonight, and I credit a lot of that to Texas. Texas's ball pressure frazzled us kind of all night long, kept us out of good ball movement, good player movement, really separating off screens. We just didn't get many clean attacks, and when they congested, we just had a hard time finding the open person. And so that combination of turnovers, after you have two yesterday, 16 feels like a monumental number, even though there are a lot of teams that average well over 16 a game. But I think for us, when we got shots on goal, we weren't ineffective. But I thought, Rory Harmon not only set the head of the snake, I thought Joanne Allen Taylor was really good as well on the ball with pressure, and then both those kids really made shots. Aaliyah Moore had a huge first half for them, energy, offensive rebounding, and scoring around the rim. So I thought their freshmen were big time tonight.
Okay, we're going to take questions starting on the front left.
Chad Conine, Waco Tribune Herald. Nalissa, the charge call and then the looked like a knee situation when you went down. What was the problem with the knee, and would you have maybe come back in the game in the first half if it hadn't been for the third foul?
She wasn't even back out on the court yet.
Yeah, so no, I wouldn't have came in. And like you said, I had 3 fouls, so it wouldn't even been smart to get back in the game. And when I had came down, my foot slipped, so I feel like I hyperextended my knee. That was it.
We got a question over on the other side of the aisle in the front row.
David Smale, Associated Press. Nalissa, you picked up 2 quick fouls on Gaston within the first 5 minutes, but they just kept throwing bodies at you. It seemed like they were roughing you up every time. Did you sense that? Did that throw you out of your game?
No. I feel like, they play aggressive every single time, and, you can't wait on getting the foul call. So that's why I shot so many free throws, because I was being aggressive back, and I don't think it threw me off.
On the second row.
Robert O'Connell, Texas Monthly. Fresh off the last bit, you mentioned how well you've been playing for the last couple of months. This is a question for both of you. Too soon to think of silver linings of refocusing ahead of the tournament?
This is a game, I told the team in the locker room, sometimes you just have to throw games in the trash. And to me, this is a game we got to throw in the trash. We didn't play good basketball. That wasn't how we got to this point. Once again, I give all the credit to Texas. I thought they played with incredible energy from the tip and did a good job attacking us. So kudos to them. They deserve to be cutting down the net today. But I think you don't necessarily think silver lining. I'm just happy her injury isn't more significant, because obviously that's the scary part going into the NCAA tournament. I think this team has really gelled down the stretch. We've played really, really good basketball and put ourselves in position to receive a good seed. And then we got to move forward. We got to get back to doing what we do, and these games happen. And everybody has an off game now and again, and you don't want them in the wrong moments. And I thought, even to battle to this point, I just have so much pride in that locker room. You talk about them bringing bodies. We don't even have any bodies to bring. So, it comes down to, us just regrouping, refocusing. We know we'll get to play at home and, do what we do well.
We got several questions on the photo deck, so we'll just start on the left side and move to the right.
Matt Lively, Casey in Waco. Nalissa, this is for you. 3 games in 3 days. Did you sense that there was any fatigue or exhaustion from the team?
Well, yeah, I'll probably say we kind of came out a little slower than we usually have been. I feel like we've been starting quarters off a lot more faster. But like you said, 3 games in 3 days, it does catch up with you. So at the end of the day, it's about who wants it more. And I feel like we could have came out stronger.
Question, any guy Anybody else on the photo deck?
Coach, this is for you. I guess, does that make you nervous heading into the NCAA tournament, or how do you think you can, handle the wear and tear throughout the tournament?
That's totally different. 3 games in 3 days is totally different to me than a game, a day off, another game, then 5 more days. So you have a lot more time to rest, and the advantage of a higher seed is early rounds being at home. So getting to play at home, I think, helps a lot as well. We talk about fatigue. It's like, I don't know if anyone realizes that Rory and Joanne Allen Taylor, who led them in scoring, played 40 minutes today, played 45 minutes yesterday. If anyone should be tired, it's them, because we were able to rest players against Oklahoma State. We had a decent rotation even today, some of that a foul trouble driven, so outside of Jordan. We've been able to keep these guys as fresh as we can, considering our numbers situation. So, today came down to part of our slow start was the free throw line, and we have either been great from the free throw line, or when one person goes 0 for 2 to start, then it's just like this cascade. And you look at a game that we lost by 9 points, and we were 11 for 20 from the foul line. I don't necessarily expect us to go 20 for 20, but we stay in that game. We keep pressure on them. We're not heaving shots up at the end of the game if we're in 1 and 2 possession games. It makes your ability to play with your playbook totally different, when you're down 4 instead of down 9 late. So, we've got to make free throws. We've got to be able to step up, in big moments and big games and make free throws, because everyone who missed one is more than capable of making free throws.
Got a question on the photo deck, and then we'll come down here.
Yeah, Melissa, Jack Allen, 25 News in Waco. I was just wondering, for you personally, after a game like this, do you throw it away, try to forget about it, or would you rather sit in it and try to use it as more motivation?
I don't like to lose, so it's gonna stick with me for a little bit. But I know we gotta move on to the tournament, so it's bigger than this game. But it is something I'm gonna go back and watch and just see things we could have did better.
Got a question on the outside on first row.
Yeah, Michelle Vopel, ESPN.com. Nalissa, I know, I'm sure you made the decision with your trainers and with Coach Collin. Did you think at all about not playing in the second half? Were you in pain at all? Can you kind of talk about that? And then Coach Collin, 60% of the teams in the league are still going to the NCAA tournament. In your first year in the Big 12, can you talk about the league and how it prepared you for the tournament?
I never thought about not coming back into the game. I knew I was going to come back into the game. My knee did hurt, but I knew it's bigger than an injury. An injury is what you make it. So I feel like I was able to go back out there and compete with my team.
I think the goal with her was to see how it felt, and we would have pulled her very, very, very quickly had she said she didn't want to go or felt, because it is bigger than this one game. She's a competitor. Obviously, she went out and got a double-double again. And so, and maybe playing on one wheel. So when it comes to the Big 12, I think back, long before I realized how good it was going to be. And I have a lot of respect. I've been around the game a long time. So I know the coaches in this league. I knew there was really good coaching in this league. I knew that the new coaches in this league were going to bring a ton of energy and different styles. I think one of the cool things about this league, it's very different from when I coached in the SEC, and I have a ton of respect for all those coaches in the SEC as well. The Big 12, you have a lot of different styles. It's not the same night in and night out. It's not, big, strong, athletic, certainly going to pound it inside kind of teams. You get a mixture, Kansas runs a lot of really good actions and is really solid offensively and defensively. Oklahoma is going to spread you out and give you a little bit of what you're going to get if you face Iowa or a team like that in the tournament that can really shoot it and stretch you out. Obviously Iowa has a more dominant low post player, but, Texas is your heavy, heavy, heavy ball pressure, deny one pass away, physical, you got to be poised and tough to play against Texas. I can kind of go down the line. We face zones. Ayoka Lee had an unbelievable year, but they played us all 2-3 zone, and So we've seen everything. So I feel like, one, I'm super proud of the coaches in this league, the players in this league, for having this kind of season, having marquee out-of-conference wins, having great battles in league. You got to show up and compete in the Big 12. Nothing was handed to us, and I think we went out and won it, and that's what I'm most proud of. And then, now it becomes, I'm a fan of every team in this league. They were our rival for 3 months, and now we're just going to cheer everybody on because it's about the bigger picture here on the men's and the women's side, to prove that, the numbers we've put up, the wins that we've had, weren't just a blip on a radar, that this league is for real. And, I know a lot of teams, like, everyone, I coached at FGCU, and they're notoriously underseeded in the NCAA tournament. And no one, I'm going to say this, I'm going to jinx this because they're going to end up in our bracket, but, like, no one wants to see them, because they're so much better than an 8 or a 9 seed, but it's style driven. And so the NCAA tournament is about, can you compete against every style? Can you line yours up against theirs and be better than them night in and night out? And so, but it becomes about matchups. And so, whether we're a 1, a 2, a 12, it's always going to come down. I'll lose my mind if we're a 12, but, it comes down to matchups.
Question on the second row.
Yeah, Chris Williams, News 10 in Waco. Liz, you guys get to host next week. It'll be your final games in the Farrell Center. What's that going to mean to you just to be able to play in that arena in front of those fans just one more time?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's like another home game, Senior night wasn't my last night there, so it's going to feel good just being on our rims, being in our environment. The crowd helps us a lot, so it's going to be good for us.
Let's plug that crowd. Come on, let's sell out the Farrell this weekend. These guys deserve it.
Question on the photo deck.
Yeah, Jack with 25 News. Nikki, you talk a lot about the standard that's set here at Baylor. After losing this game, is there any feeling of a letdown or anything? How do you kind of respond to people who understand that the expectation here is championships?
We tried to win the basketball game tonight. We've beaten Texas 2 times this season. So, I don't think anyone in that locker room didn't want to play their best basketball and be out there right now celebrating. So, it hurts. It doesn't hurt because some people think we didn't do a good enough job or that I'm not good enough or whatever. It hurts because we wanted to be out there celebrating. We wanted to finish it the same way we did the regular season. So, this season's been tough. Everyone who knows me knows that this wasn't an easy job to take. And I just love this team so much. And so, it's always been about not letting them down. So, dang, all season long, I've never done this.
All right.
So, yeah, did I want to put a feather in our cap and win today and meet the expectation? Yeah, but for these guys. I wanted Liz to beat Texas one more time. So I think that was it more than anything. So, we were only -2 when Liz was on the floor. So, her getting in foul trouble and then that injury obviously impacted us when your best player is back in the locker room.
Question on the front.
Chad Conine, Waco Tribune-Herald. Nikki, now in 3 or 4 hours, you'll be watching the selection show. Will this linger, or will you just kind of be in that excitement selection show mode?
I've never been in this situation before, so I can probably tell you later. I'm going to be proud to see our name up on that board. Of course, I'm disappointed we lost. I want to outcoach my opponent every time I step out on the court, I want to outcoach the opposite coach. I want our team to outplay the team. So, of course, I'm disappointed. Of course, I'm going to look back at it and think of 100 different ways that I could have been better, whether it was calling different plays or saying something different or emphasizing something differently, because if you want to be great at what you do, you have to be more critical of yourself than anyone in the media or fans or peers or whoever. It's it comes down to wanting to be the best, because I don't want to leave any stone unturned. So there'll be a little of both. There'll be a little bit of both, but we have to be so proud of what we've done this season and be excited about what's next.
Question on the front, Michelle.
Yeah, Coach, I know you mentioned this before, and obviously it's very true. Matchups make everything. Do you feel like, though, you guys have made a very good case for a number 1 seed, regardless of what happened today?
I don't know that anyone's played better basketball down the stretch than us. That's how I feel. And we have played against every style, and, we've done it, being in foul trouble and people saying we don't have enough size or enough depth or, we're small on the perimeter, which we are, and we've found ways to win against every team in this league. And so do I think we deserve a number 1 seed? Yes. I do. I mean, but, I'm not in the committee. It's probably already decided at this point anyway, but I wasn't in that room lining up our quad 1 and quad 2 wins and deciding, but to me, the eye test says this team's a number 1 seed. So, but we'll take whatever seed, and if they give us a 2, we'll just prove that, we deserve the 1.